Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, Negro voter, 1964 to 2024. 60 years, the mental games have not changed. Yes, the mental games have not changed in 60 years. And today, being November the 5th, 2024, the day of the presidential elections in America. And the type of animosityness and political nonsensicalness and chameleon-like personnel and people eyeballing and trying to see what how American blacks are going to vote, especially numbers of American black males. It's like this election was almost like the election of where and how do we see how the American black male is going to vote, right? So many Harvard personnel and entities and etc., right? Bad mouthing, right? Insulting, right? Numbers of American black males, right? Nobody else is insulting other males of different cultures, right? No one was talking about if some other women for within Pathan-based culture, or numbers of Hispanic women, or Native American women, the numbers of Asian women, border breaker, illegal immigrant women, and etc. Who are people gonna who are they gonna think about voting for, right? Even though wink wink, border breakers or illegal immigrant personnel are not supposed to vote, but at the same time you have personnel, right, trying to at least allow them to vote in local elections. Hint, hint, right? And then the stepping stone to be able to vote. I don't want to go. That's a whole different topic. Whole different other game. So relating to this topic today, there actually was a video, for the people who don't know, there actually was a video called The Negro Voter 1964. And for the personnel who might be interested in seeing the entire video, because I'm just want to play just a little bit of it. Actually, it's no more than 29 minutes. I think something like 28, 29 minutes. So it's not long at all. The whole video of that is in the description in this topic. So what I want to do is just go ahead and play a little bit of it, right? And see and observe how the games still have not been changed, right? Just watch a little bit of this. Give me 1 second here. Mm-hmm.
It was in 1962 that I tried to register the 31st of August in 1962. And I had worked as a timekeeper and a sharecropper on a plantation for 18 years. I was fired that same day. And the man that I had worked for said they wasn't ready for that in Mississippi. It seems as though every time the Republicans get in, that the wages go down and the work gets scarce and everything, but as soon as they get in a Democrat president, everything begins to boom.
I wouldn't see, no, I wouldn't vote even if I had the opportunity to vote.
Why not?
But I don't see where either party would do, either party is benefiting the mass of people any good whatsoever.
Oh, well, 1964, and you hear this particular brother knowing what the game is. 2024, 60 years, right? Election today, and the games have not changed, and they still have, or there's still people within certain parts of, anyway. So there are numbers within American Blackism, right? That it has been ingrained, right, to vote such and such, no matter who, right? It's been ingrained, right? Just like the two candidates for tonight, presidential candidate, even though again, it's not based upon popular vote, but it still got people still don't seem to not anyway on that, right? But based upon electoral vote, so if you don't vote for Trump, if you vote for Trump, then you voted. Oh my God, you want to vote racist type personnel in? Oh, okay. But if you don't vote for Kamala, you don't like black women, you don't want to see a woman in office. You see how this goes, right? Oh, mental gains have not changed toward quite a number toward American blacks, with few exceptions. Let's see what this icon, Martin Luther King, is going to say.
I think there is still a good deal of apathy that we have to grapple with in the Negro community. We see this both North and South, and I think it is a job that must be done.
The National Educational Television Network presents Of People and Politics, 21 programs about the way Americans perpetuate the political system under which they live. Now, the Negro Voter, with Richard D. Hefner.
Didn't say the brown voter, didn't say the yellow voter, didn't say the red voter, because that wasn't even a conversation, nor were people even thinking about that. See, it shows you that still 60 years ago, right, people were still looking at American blacks or Negro voters to see what was going on. And at that time, still, various other cultures and backgrounds wasn't even thought of like that, because many wasn't even around in 1964, right? And that includes numbers of ones who had the skin of dark skin or medium dark skin or light, bright white, etc., but not of American blacks. I'm talking about the one this applies to, right? Because there are some good and bad. But we talking 1964, you weren't gonna have that many personnel of non-American black in this country, right? But how many have the audacity to run away from an ancient continent, a person that looked like them, right? Which is fine to, that they want to leave and, do their thing, whatever it is in America, wherever it is, and, mind their business, wherever it is, that's fine. But then you have others out there that have the nerve to sit there and try to look down upon American blacks. Who the hell do some people think they are, right? When our American blacks had to deal with certain racial racism, terrorism going on from certain ones within the Panamese culture. And you got some other ones who slide under the banner of white, but they're not white, American white, but they wish they were white. Oh, some people know what I'm talking about, right? There's some people out there that look upon certain ones within the Panamese culture as their gods, right? I'm just saying, but let's continue.
Since World War II, the Negro in America has become increasingly conscious of his political rights. In 1944, the whites-only primaries in the South were abolished, and Negroes began to vote in the South in meaningful numbers for the first time since Reconstruction. Of course, they had long since exercised this right in the North. And now in 1964, after 2 decades, In most parts of the country, the Negro's right to vote, like any other citizens, is an accepted fact.
But that's incorrect. That's a little white lie. See that bull stuff, right? What, you think there are not certain numbers of northern places what that didn't want to do black men, oh well, Negroes to not vote? Don't let people play that damn silly ass damn game. You got people seem to damn forget that before slavery was going into the South gigantically, slavery started basically going within the North. Oh, see, a lot of people don't want to talk about that. And there's some people out there don't even realize that Northern slavery basically predates Southern slavery. Right? Let's continue.
And of course, the Negro's voting power can be listed among his most important assets. In 1960, the Negro vote was highly important. Some say it swung the presidential election to John F. Kennedy.
Oh, wait a minute now. But remember how if the Negro voter ain't worth 2 cents of a piece of piss pot, boy, you got people sure sitting there be saying all kind of crazy damn games and insulting this left and right and worried about which way the black man and black woman gonna vote and shit, like stuff like that. So apparently the Negro voter is still important. Well, for right now, until the supremacists, because they are surely going to do this. They are surely going to make this is why they allow more foreigners to come to this country, right? Don't let people play games and stuff like that, right? Don't let people play little games, especially American black. Don't let people play silly ass damn games. And some are going to let people do that and not see through this shit, right? Border breaker, legal immigrant personnel are allowed to come over by the millions. And by the way, record breaking numbers, by the way, that's been happening for the last, 4 years under Biden and Kamala administration, by the way. But you got people want to say, oh my goodness, but Trump, you don't want to vote, not me, but you don't want to vote for the Trump stuff because he's a racist, right? But just bypass and not act like, last 4 years, have been, still had racism, terrorism put upon American blacks, right? Just gonna keep pretending, right? But let's keep going.
The Negro vote is becoming a crucial element in determining who has political control in our cities and indeed throughout the nation. Yet the Negro vote is a great and intangible factor in this presidential election year. How will the Negro vote in 1964? Will he vote in a bloc? Will race be his prime motivation? Will he go Democratic? Will he perhaps vote Republican? What does the Negro voter want?
Does that still sound like 60 years still is still not going on? What direction are the American blacks going to go on, or what they would call then, and some people still now, which way the Negro voter is going to go, right? But you got some fools that want to act like that. Oh, the Negro voter don't matter. But at the same time, they're all in the Negro voters' business to see how they're going to vote, right? But they're not talking about how Hispanics are going to vote like that. They're not talking about how Native Americans going to vote like that. They're not talking about how the numbers of Asians, whatever that's supposed to mean, right? Because Asia is a continent, but whatever on that, right? People are not asking in some gigantic, any kind of proportion, how they're going to vote, right? They're worried about which way the American black folks are going to vote. And especially, the nonsensical abomination ass mental switchery tactics of hatefulness, right? Well, where's the black males going to vote at, right? Oh my goodness, if they vote for Trump, well, you know what? They vote for a racist, because if they don't vote for Kamala, they don't want to see a woman. These games, man, it ain't changed because supremacists know the outcome of the game, right? Collectively, right? With a small variable in that part. Let's continue.
Well, I may not particularly approve of his leadership, but I would vote certainly for Mr. Powell again because he is the ranking Negro in Congress. He has a great deal of influence, and I like this, and I think that more Negro people should see a man in leadership position.
You cannot make political gains unless you
deal with the people who have access to the power.
Mm.
And every politician knows this, and until the Negro in the South becomes aware of his true influence and the devices available to him, he will be electing Negro candidates who will be seat warmers.
I think.
Ooh, hold on. Oh, I messed up on that. Oh my, you see that? Ooh, so you got to watch who you vote, how American blacks who they got to vote
Deal
for.
with the people who have access to the power.
Ooh.
And every politician knows this, and until the Negro in the South becomes aware of his true influence and the devices available to him, he will be electing Negro candidates who will be seat warmers.
Mm-mm. And this is 1964. You see nothing that's changed on this, right? Just additional games as well. And more type people from different cultures and backgrounds and etc. The ones who know they are, that ain't being friends to American blacks, but sitting there playing games. Oh, it's a whole different topic on that, right? But you see the powerful statement that was just made, right? You got the American blacks got to watch who their personnel is voting for. Yes, of course, it needs to be more American blacks in political office, but not chumpsters, not coonish, not sellouts, and certainly not ones that pretend to slide under the black banner. But then when stuff happens about reparations and true equalness, then they jump back out and say, no, no. Well, I know I'm a American citizen, but no. But they know, wait, but they're original from this particular country, another country. Let me phrase that, on the continent, right? Another continent. Are they from certain parts of some main island, or say certain sections of Caribbean, I'm talking about the ones applies to? White people jump back out and act like they're of that particular area then, but just happen to be flying the American citizen banner, right? But at the same time, dip back out, dip back in when it's like, hey, they're black. You say, hey, what about for American blacks, right? Not latecomers, that pretend under the category black. Hey, what about American blacks and reparations? What about that? Well, no. You see how that goes? It's a game. It's a game.
I think the Negro tends to vote for the candidate naturally whom they think is going to do the best that they can for the Negro and his needs. But I also think that that's true of white people too.
The Negro voter.
When has that changed? Because you hear some personnel talking about now that, oh my goodness, so American blacks need to vote more for policies. Same damn thing then, 60 years ago. That ain't damn changed. Nothing has changed in the game, right? But the mental gains are still the same, right? Just additional players to the game toward American blacks. Oh my goodness.
Like the white voter, votes his interests, economic, social, political. He votes against the man who would push him around or who would deny him economically. He votes for the man he thinks is friend. Yet Negro voting influence varies. It depends on where you live, South, North, border state. And it depends on Negro numbers. 3 areas of the country represent 3 stages of the development of Negro voting power. Mississippi, where Negro numbers are great, but where Negroes still find it difficult to exercise our most basic right, the right to vote.
Again, nothing has changed. And again, I'm just gonna play this for a few minutes and stuff like that. And the full video is within the description. But I definitely appreciate personnel taking a few minutes off to take a listen to the video, because nothing has changed. It's in the video, the Negro voter. Again, that was in 1964, right? A video specifically talking about the Negro voter, not a Hispanic voter, right? Not some brown voter, not a yellow voter, not the Asian voter, not a red voter, not the Native American voter. None of that. They was talking about Negro votes, right? Because the American blacks still are looked at as the top need for what direction a lot of candidates want to utilize. The problem is that there are quite a number of American blacks that still haven't figured it through the mindset that, look, their votes count, right? And it's important. on that situation.
The liberal North, where Negroes have been able to vote freely for years, but where Negroes are a comparatively small percentage of the population. The border areas and parts of the South where Negroes have the voting rights of the North within the racial conditions of the South, and where Negro numbers are great. Mississippi, 42% of the population is Negro, though white adults outnumber Negro adults 2-to-1. Only 6% of the Negro population votes. In Forest County, there are 14,752 Negroes. 12 are registered voters. Whites fear young Negroes. Charles Evers, brother of the assassinated Medgar Evers, has taken over Medgar's old position as leader of the Jackson, Mississippi NAACP chapter. What does Charles Evers think about the progress of voting registration?
At the present, voter registration is very slow. We're having many difficulties in trying to get Negroes registered. Why? You see, in Mississippi, the population is practically half of Negro and half white. And through this, in certain sections, we have much more resistance from the whites.
What would happen if Negroes in Mississippi got the right to vote tomorrow? Pulitzer Prize-winning Mississippi newspaper publisher Harding Carter.
White. And in those beats, those precincts, those other political subdivisions, where the Negro outnumbered the whites, the Negro would elect the Negro.
Oh, wait. I didn't want to go past that. And you hear that little word he said.
White. And through the
Prize-winning Mississippi newspaper publisher Harding Carter.
Those white. And in those beats, those precincts, those other political subdivisions, where the Negro outnumbered the whites, the Negro would elect the Negro.
Oh my God. You heard them use the N-word 60 years ago. And so when that word, that destroying N-word usage, supremacists laugh when they hear black personnel, numbers of American blacks, the ones who do that, even though collectively most American blacks ain't doing that. But the point is that the system makes sure to showcase the ones that are doing it. That word N-word is a destroyer, right? And so how can people get mad when some whites, some Hispanics, some Asians, some Native Americans, etc., some foreigners, you get the point, right? Some border breakers. So how can somebody get mad at some other people using the N-word? Oh, and they also include certain women, right, within the Paname's culture. And some males. So I don't get mad at them. You see how that goes, right? But you see what this guy's talking about now, Pulitzer Prize, and you see him using that N-word 60 years ago.
And elsewhere, the whites. This is not true in my county. I don't think it's true. I know it's not true along the Gulf Coast of Mississippi where the Negro votes, but almost everywhere else it would be strictly racial and bitter.
As it is, racism is a part of Mississippi politics. Mississippi politician and state treasurer Bill Winters.
Constructive approach to the problems of our state without bringing in a great many issues that frequently amount to dragging dead cats across the path of the voters. I think there's a certain amount of bitterness, it seems to me, that is expected of a candidate for governor on certain issues.
Why is that? And what kind of bitterness?
Well, it is a part, of course, of the age-old technique of using the race issue to attract votes.
See that little game part in 1964, right? You still have what prior to that of again what only numbers of white males for the president, right? And as far as localness and citywide, and what was the predominant base of politicalness that was on ballots to vote for? Obviously, numbers of personnel within Paname's culture. But as soon as you start saying, hey, somebody black, oh, y'all playing the race card, you can get the hell out of here with that. You see the game, but people want to play the white card many times. They'll play the people of color card or play the foreigners card. You get the point I'm getting at. I'm just gonna play for about another few minutes because there's a particular woman.
Negro political
I want to play a
participation in
black woman.
Mississippi will come in some distant day. Negro political participation in Mississippi will come in some distant day. In the State House of Mississippi, 3 Negroes, candidates for congressional office, tread on marble and register their candidacies in offices which have been off limits to all but Negro janitors for close to a century.
Says that upon the hearing,
not other cultures, not other backgrounds, they wouldn't even thought of it like that.
This deals with the other section that Ben
But
mentioned.
black people, American black,
feel that you have that there's been something has gone wrong in
this, sadly, is a political meeting in Mississippi. The candidates plan their campaign. The woman is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer from the poverty-stricken Mississippi Delta. Does she think she has a chance to win?
No.
Why are you running?
Well, you see, all the people are not elected. You know, all the people was not. What I mean is, Whitten, the man that is congressman now, all the people didn't elect him because Negroes wasn't allowed to vote.
You anticipate much white opposition?
I do.
Do Negroes ever get intimidated or shot at because they run for public office?
They get shot at without being running for public office, so I don't think I have no other choice because they shot into a house 16 times for me after I just tried to register the first time.
Do you think Negro leadership would help cure poverty?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Because don't anybody want to see his fellow man or his brother down. I mean, we don't actually want to take anything from the white person. We just want what's actually ours, what have been ours so long. And we are ready for it, and we want that now.
So that was only less than 10 minutes. So again, it's about 25 plus minutes of the whole video, not that long. But anybody wants to see the whole, if they haven't seen it before or whatever it is, it's in the description, and the link is in the description. So I just wanted to play a little bit of that called the Negro Vote of 1964. And you see how the games have not changed, right? And again, you got latecomer people, right, who run across the borders, and people come across from a certain place in a particular, certain other continent across the Atlantic Ocean, the ones this applies to that are playing the games, not the ones who are coming over and still, and they showing the respect, understand for without the American blacks, many wouldn't even be in this country, right? Or certain type of islands within certain parts of the Caribbean, the one this applies to, because, you know, many types of beautiful Caribbean islands, but there's only a couple or so, a few that's really ever talked about, right? So again, you got personnel that slide under the black banner, but when it comes down to sitting and say, "Hey, hey, you need to do some camaraderie with the American blacks," and you got the ones who slide under the black banner don't like this. Oh, no, the ones applies to, right? But I just want to play this particular. I wanted to play that the Negro voter in 1964 because again, nothing has changed. 60 years, right? 1964 to 2024, 60 years, and you see the games have not changed, right? Just more games are allowed to happen because the outcome that supremacists want to be the same, right? And so again, and I'm gonna play a couple of quick clips on something to finish the show out, because remember that some of the main thing that's been going on with this presidential election, which has so much animosityness, right? So much animosityness, right? Again, what's that American black male? Who he gonna vote for, right? What's his problem? He's not doing what we want him to do, right? We're going to use certain types of women from within American black womanism, the one this applies to act like they're going to tame this Negro male, act like as if black males, American black males, some infant. You see the insulting of that, right? But that shit wouldn't be allowed, vice versa. But I'll make this point, and about to play a couple of videos, and I'm gonna stop this. Go ahead and finish the show out. On this election day, November the 5th, 2024, some of the main things that's geared toward American black males, or in general numbers, certain ones within American black culture as well, but specifically toward American black males. And I'm not talking about sellouts or gullibles or deflectors. That if the ones that do want to vote for Trump, if they do vote for Trump, oh my goodness, they're voting for a racist. If they don't vote for Kamala, they hate women. They hate black women. You see how that goes, right? You see that bull crowd, that little dastardly type of tactic, right? Right. They don't want to see a black woman. She's not a black woman. Kamala Harris is not a black woman. Her mom is what? Indian, right? From India in the caste system. But you got people want to play a game like that's not happening still now. Her dad's Jamaican. On the birth certificate, they had Kamala's mother as white, right? On the father part, on the birth certificate, they had Kamala's father, right, as black. No, they didn't have as Jamaican, right? But you got people talking about, oh, she's black. What kind of game is that, right? But again, let me go ahead and play this particular video. And again, it's not about for Kamala, against Kamala, for Trump, against Trump. That had nothing to do with that. I'm just relaying the games, right? If you vote for Trump, it's numbers of American blacks, if they vote for Trump, they want to vote for racists. If they don't want to vote for Kamala, then they don't like women. What? As if this last 4 years have been sweet honey under the Biden Kamala administration. What? Let me show you something for a second.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country. No, it won't benefit black people. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Again, this has been played numbers of times, but again, you can't play this enough because again, remember, numbers of American blacks vote for Trump, the ones who are going to do this, right? Oh, they vote for racists, but Kamala, oh my goodness, you don't like women, right? But you say, hey, what you gonna do for black folks, American blacks? Oh, I ain't doing anything for particular black people. But at the same time, you say, wait a minute now. Billions are going to Ukraine, right? Record-breaking, illegal border breaking, illegal immigrant personnel, right? How much resources, which is a pseudo reparations for border breakers, right? Giving them debit cards with all that money on the card. You see where I'm coming from, right? Getting them hotels, free hotels, right? But when it's about American blacks, what we're gonna do for black folks, American blacks? I ain't gonna do a thing for black people only. This game. So this next thing, because remember again, you got people forget Biden, Kamala administration. What have they done specifically for American blacks? Did they sit there and do an anti-Asian hate bill as what was done within this last 4 years for numbers of Asians, right? The continuation of the DACA program, which is done under the Obama administration, which helps what? Numbers of Hispanics out, right? Billions helping the Ukrainians out, right? So do you see this game on that, right? But if you vote for Trump, some numbers of American blacks vote for Trump, then they vote for a racist. You see this game, right? But watch this. Let's see. People seem to forget about Mr. Biden, right? Just gonna pretend he's just some innocent person, right? But let's look at something for a second. You see, Senator Thurman's birthday dinner, Washington, D.C. Who's giving a little speech here? It's only for a few seconds. Is Biden.
Little did anyone think, including me, that when I had an opportunity to be a ranking member with Strom, that I would grow to have such genuine and deep affection for him. Little did anyone think, including me, that when I had an opportunity to be a ranking member with Strom, that I would grow to have such genuine and deep affection for him.
But if numbers of American blacks vote for Trump, they're voting for a racist. But here it is, Biden. See, this is why it's important to, again, having things for timepiece purposes. And again, this is not about, oh my goodness, the person should vote for Trump or vote for Kamala. That's irrelevant. That's not the point of the topic. It's just the hilariousness of the abomination of the mental trickery tactics of saying if numbers American black, especially American black males, if any vote for Trump, you're racist, right? If you don't vote for Kamala, you're sexist. You see this game of trying to shame American black males, but they ain't doing it to no other males. But you saw what I just showed about Mr. Biden, right? That ain't making stuff up. You heard exactly what he's talking about. That the feel the affection that he would consider Strom Thurmond a known segregationist. A known segregationist, right? A known segregationist. Ooh, let me play this one last time for that video.
Little did anyone think, including me, that when I had an opportunity to be a ranking member with Strom, that I would grow to have such genuine and deep affection for him.
A known segregationist, and you heard Biden giving this flowingness of admiration for a segregationist. But if numbers of American blacks, especially males, vote for Trump, well, they're voting for a racist. Right? Now, let's Strom Thurmond. Let's see how he thought about American blacks. Give me 1 second, hero.
Walked out of the Democratic convention, formed their own party. Delegates who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
What did they say? Walked out the Democratic convention.
Delegates who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
The Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their
South Carolina Governor Strong, super segregationist, don't like American blacks Thurmond.
Delegates who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
The Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, to break down segregation and the Southern people to break down troops in the army. There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches.
And this is who Biden was speaking with so much admiration and affection, right? At that Strom Thurmond's birthday dinner. And you got some damn people that got the nerve to talk about if numbers of American black males, the ones who have, or the ones who did that before, and say some of the ones who do that now. If they vote in this election, the ones who are thinking about it, who have done that in their election, then they're voting for a racist. But what I said there just showed you that Biden gave affection and speech admiration to strong, super segregationist, anti-American black Thurmond. Right? You see how that goes? So this is why it's so important to have the timepiece purposes, right? And how important the history to maintain. Because many people have not seen this before, right? It's just the whole point is if you vote for Trump, according to certain people, and even certain ones within American Blackism, right? If numbers of males vote, American black males vote for Trump, they're racist. I mean, they are voting for a racist. If they don't vote for Kamala, they're sexist. But at the same time, again, the last 14 years under Biden and the VP Kamala Harris administration, what have they done for American blacks specifically? Nothing. They've given an anti-hate bill to Asians, whatever that's supposed to mean, because Asians are a continent. What they mean is that certain caste system Asians within America, because there's a hierarchy of Asianness. Oh, people don't want to talk about that. But they got an anti-Asian hate bill, even though the number one people who have the most hatred in America is whites. Man, please, I don't think so. Well, it's got to be Asians. They got a hate crime bill. I don't think so. The number one people, well, it's got to be Hispanics. Stop playing. The number one personnel who has the most hate put upon him is American blacks. And under the Biden administration, Harris administration, did they sit there and do an anti-Asian hate crime bill for American blacks? No. But they allow billions and billions of resources to go to Ukraine and however other countries are getting them foreign aid, right? Still allowing border break legal immigrant personnel by the record numbers to come to America, helping them out. But if numbers of American black males, if the ones who are considering that, who have voted for Trump, then they vote for a racist. You see the game of that, right? That's the nerve. But I just sit there and showed you what strong super segregationists, right, talked about calling the black folks the N-words, and there's not enough arminess to sit there and stop, segregation. And this is the person that Biden gave admiration at the birthday dinner and dedication for Strom Thurmond. Okay. One last video.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want.
One more time.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Damn. Wow. But if American blacks, the ones who are thinking about voting for Trump, who have voted for him early voting, have done that, and the ones who are thinking about voting for Trump, they say Trump is the racist, right? If they vote for him. But what I just sit there and show you what Biden was talking about, not talking about personally, I'm just relaying, you see the paradoxical hypocrisy. If numbers of American blacks vote for Trump, they vote for racist. If they vote for Kamala, if they don't vote for Kamala, they sexist. Nobody else plays this game. No other people play games against other cultures as they play against American blacks, right? You heard what Biden said. If you got a problem, right, who you supposed to vote for, Trump or Biden, basically? Well, you ain't black. Damn. Not you ain't brown. Not if you ain't yellow, right? Not if you ain't red, right? You see this game, right? And so definitely this last particular video, I want to show it's kind of, well, it's not funny at all, but it's a pertinent from this gentleman who does hip hop cartoons and some other cartoons, and especially from about Mr. Neely Fuller, American black, who should be an icon, but very underrated. Not at some scholarly formalization, but the way he puts stuff together, and he's up there in age bracket, but the way he's put the words together about white supremacy, and then I don't use the word like that, and some other people may not use it as well, because some people do utilize that, but it's been such a cool word now, right? It's a cool word to use, and it's not the way it was, right? So it takes the sting out of the word white supremacy, right? Last video.
Racism itself is an insane proposition. What is racism? White supremacy. What is white supremacy? Mistreating people or treating people like they're criminals because of color. Also, you have people in very high positions who say that if you're a person with black skin, you are a toilet.
But I guess that's just if American blacks vote for Trump, right? All the other people before Trump, right? Right? However politicalness before Trump, right? Nobody else, right? There's nobody else that's ever been racist or anti-American black. Nobody else, right? This the thought pattern of Trump, 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 right?
So what do you do to a toilet? The little girl is a toilet, okay, in the minds of the white supremacists. This is universal. That's what a black person is. A urinal, a toilet, a commode bowl. That's what that is walking down the street toward you. If you're white, you're taught that. That is nothing. That is something to be disdained. That's something to have off to the side somewhere. Jiffy John, a portable toilet hidden over there in the trees. Hide that thing. That toilet. That's not anything that's not a shrine or anything. That's something that you hide. And, you want people to see you going in there. All right? Okay. That's what these things that we have recognized, we call them. In order to make them feel better, we call them people, but that's not what they really are. They are less than animals. Even the animals we bring out and parade in the streets and whatnot and show off. Okay? And we'll do a few of them like that, a few of our chosen ones. But basically, when you're looking at a black person, you are looking at a commode. Walking down the street, that's what that is. And what do you do to a commode? You treat it like it's a commode. End of story. See, black people have to see themselves the way that the white supremacists see us every day when they pass us on the street. Here comes a toilet. That's what that is, a walking toilet. And if I have to relieve myself, that's the thing that I'm going to do it in.
Wow. Whew. In those situations, what can we, or what do we learn, from that? Or how are we supposed to interpret that?
Interpret it just the way I thought it, I said it. See, when I walk down the street, I think that that's what they're thinking. Okay?
But does that make it true?
Exactly what they're thinking.
Okay.
If they're white supremacists, I shouldn't even be in existence. I'm just something that you tolerate in existence. I shouldn't even exist. I shouldn't be walking down the street taking up the sidewalk. That's why sometimes they almost walk right into you. Move. My goodness. I'm a white person. Get out of my way. You're not supposed to be on this planet. Negro. What are you doing breathing? Where did you come from? Who created you? Who would have the nerve to create something like you? Who would make that kind of mistake? You're nothing but a walking mistake. My God, deliver me. But since you're here, I'll put up with you. But I ain't going to put up with you very much. That's it. That's the whole philosophy in the mind of a white supremacist. If we don't understand that, then we don't understand the world that we're in. Put up with you.
think, including me, that when I had an opportunity to be a ranking member with Strom, that I would grow to have such genuine and deep affection for him.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. I had this thing on mute, bro. I had this thing on mute. Uh-oh. So I was saying that again. Uh, American black males, doing the ones that this applies to, are not supposed to have the right to vote, right? It's if they want to vote for Trump, right? They're not supposed to have that right, because they do that, they vote for a racist. But if they don't vote for Kamala, then they're sexist and they don't like women. But at the same time, what I said there just showed you a video of Biden at a dinner uh, on behalf of celebrating the birthday of strong, super segregationist, anti-American Black Thurman, right? Ooh, he'd been in politicalness for a long time, right? But Biden gave him a rousingness of an affectionate speech, right? And this is the person, Strom Thurmond, that Biden was so eloquently that uh, gave a great affectionate speech about.
Delegates who walked out of the Democratic convention formed their own party.
The Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches. At Birmingham under the states' rights banner.
The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as
Hold on.
Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their presidential candidate. The so-called Dixiecrats nominated the South Carolina Governor Strom Thurmond as their presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches.
But at the same time, again, in closing, but American black males specifically, right? And I'm not talking about sellouts, the gullible ones, are not supposed to have the right to vote for who the hell they want to vote for, right? And if they vote, the ones who have voted for or thinking about voting for Trump, then they supposed to be voting for a racist. If they don't vote for Kamala, they don't like women and they're sexist. But what I then showed you, Biden made a affectionate speech relating to strong super segregationist Thurman, right? I'm gonna play this one last. Let me.
Who walked out nominated the South Carolina Governor
South Carolina Governor, strong super segregationist, anti-American Black
Strom Thurmond as their
Thurman.
presidential candidate.
There's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and admit the Negroes into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches.
See, you didn't hear Kamala talk about stuff like that, did she? No. Just saying. So I do thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.